Hello all. Good morning. Welcome to the National Press Club. I'm Stephen Desiderio, Director of the Institute for Basic Biomedical Sciences at Johns Hopkins. On behalf of my colleagues in the Basic Sciences at Hopkins and in the clinical departments, I'd like to welcome you to our 8th consecutive annual Science Writers Boot Camp for the last several years held here in Washington at the Press Club. Now, why do we have a boot camp to begin with? Well, science, as you know, can be nuanced. With your deadlines, it's very difficult to get all the information you need to cover your science beats. And it sometimes helps just to spend a day digging deeper into one topic to get the background that you'd like. And we, as always, want to help you get the story right and also put out there some of the outstanding science that's being done within the walls of Hopkins. Now, another reason why you'd like to have boot camp is illustrated by a story we put out recently about cells in the brain that might signal a mouse to stop eating. And the next slide shows some of the resulting headlines. Pretty interesting. They got it completely wrong. And I particularly like the banner at the lower website because astrology turns out to be one of the tabs, as you can see, which has as much relationship to the story as anything else. So the stories actually were a bit more accurate than the headlines imply, but nonetheless, science is often difficult to cover, and we can help you. Now, as director of the IBBS, the Basic Sciences Institute, I'd like to showcase for you how basic research affects everyone's health. Our institute is an association of 125 primary and another 120 secondary faculty at Hopkins. It's one of the largest associations of scientists doing fundamental research in the United States, with an annual research budget of over $110 million, or roughly a fifth to a quarter of the entire NIH budget of the School of Medicine at Johns Hopkins. You're all aware that there's been increasing pressure for scientists to focus on outcomes and patient application, and we'll hear a lot about that today. But I want to underscore that without the pipeline of basic discovery, therapies will not be realized. In my own field, which touches on leukemia and lymphoma, some of today's most important treatments are based on discoveries made more than 40 years ago, and it's taken that long for the discoveries to mount one on another to eventually culminate in the development of effective treatment. And it's also an honor for us to do basic research at a place like Johns Hopkins Medicine. Hopkins has 6 hospitals. It's an academic medical center, has a presence in Baltimore, of course, but also in Washington, D.C. And we've got almost 1,000 full-time faculty members, almost 40 community locations, and we're one of the 2 largest recipients of NIH research funding in the United States. More important, Hopkins was founded by an abolitionist who believed that healthcare should be provided to all, regardless of ethnicity and regardless of ability to pay. And that's something that Hopkins still adheres to today. It's a very important place in American medicine and a very important place in the life of the Baltimore-Washington region. I'd like to introduce you in this slide to our media relations team, almost all of whom are here today. They're all willing to help connect you with the right expert at Johns Hopkins, and everyone's beat areas are listed in today's program. If you want to keep it simple, just use the contact email above, and we'll help you get to the right person. For those of you who've attended past events, thank you for coming to join us again. I can't overemphasize how much we want this event to be for you. You have picked all of the topics so far: regenerative medicine, epigenetics, Genomic Revolution, the Brain and Heart Disease. And sometime today you'll receive an email survey. Please fill it out. I review each of the surveys, and we use those results to choose our future topics. This year's topic is Weighty Matters, Recent Advances in Metabolism, Obesity, and Diabetes Research. You chose the topic last year, and we agree it's timely. It's been in the news quite a bit. A quick search of headlines just last week shows that these topics are not going away anytime soon. We did a quick scan of LexisNexis to see how many stories have been written this year so far compared to the relatively fat-free 80s, and you can see that there's been a massive acceleration in the number of stories that have been done in the areas. We're excited about today's lineup and excited that some of our most prestigious experts at Hopkins can be here today to share with you the latest in the field. I won't introduce the speakers individually now, but I will before each talk. They'll be here for you to schmooze as the day goes on at the breaks and at lunch. This is an overview of today's agenda. We plan, as I said, ample breaks. If we get a little bit behind in the sessions, no worry, we should end on time at 4 o'clock because we've got plenty of opportunity to catch up. And at 4 o'clock, I'd like you to join us for a reception, if you can, in the First Amendment room right nearby. We'll have more snacks and an open bar. It'll be a nice way to catch up. Now, how weighty is the problem? Diabetes, as you know, is a massive problem in the United States and is also starting to be a problem worldwide in Europe. It already is quite a problem in the Middle East, for example. This is part of an infographic that Hopkins developed with the CDC and the American Diabetes Association. You've got a copy of the larger infographic in your folders. Here are a few facts about obesity from the CDC. More than a third of US adults are obese. About 17% of children and adolescents are obese, and the map shows the geographic prevalence of obesity. I think any correspondence to the electoral map of the United States is merely coincidental. They do. Had to put that in. I'm being waved down by my media team, but I am in the press club, and I'm exercising my First Amendment rights. And it's said that these issues have a lot to do with metabolism, which is hopelessly illustrated here. And this is just why you came today, to help us decipher for you the latest research in metabolism. So let's get started.